The number one way to benefit from AI is to create custom GPTs, and it's really quick and easy. They're customized versions of the top chatbots like ChatGPT that you prime in advance for specialized needs with your own information for them to reference, and your preferred styles and formatting and other unique preferences. And you can create whole teams of tutors and advisors and writers and copy editors, tech support, and even designers and developers. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create your own team of custom GPTs. And on Productivity Nexus, you can access a collection that I've pre-configured. That's linked in the video description. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe for more insights around AI, automation, and systemization. So all of the top AI chatbots in some form offer custom GPTs, where you pre-configure instructions and supply information for it to reference. Gemini has gems, Claude has projects, and ChatGPT has custom GPTs. And they all have their own strengths and shortcomings, but I find ChatGPT to offer the best blend of features and performance. So that's what we'll walk through here. And in another recent tutorial, I talked about the 10 roles AI should play in your daily workflow. For each of those roles, I have at least one custom GPT, sometimes multiple with even more granular specialties. They're accessible in a click within my sidebar, or I can mention them in any chat. So from those 10 common roles, let's create one that's especially useful for everyone. That's the copywriter. And specifically, we're going to create a copywriter to assist an AI-focused content creator with a writing style inspired by The Verge, which is a popular tech publication. But it'll be obvious how to adapt it for your own use and preferred style. So within ChatGPT, in your sidebar, you'll see the option to explore GPTs. And that takes you to an expansive directory of specialized GPTs created by brands and other users. And as long as you have at least a ChatGPT Plus subscription, at the top you'll have the option to manage your own GPTs and create new ones. So for our copywriter, we want to create a new one. And that'll present you with a handful of configuration options. And for users that want it, they have this create option where they can chat with ChatGPT to create a first pass of those configurations. But you'll really get a more tailored result that's more in line with what you want to accomplish if you bypass that and instead take a more methodical and structured approach. So back in the Configure tab with a clean slate, we'll start by giving it a name, and we'll call this one simply Copywriter. And the description is really only useful for GPTs you plan to share, either privately or publicly. But since I'll include this one in the collection you'll access on Productivity Nexus, we'll say write like The Verge, smart and informative, yet accessible and relatable. And then the meat of it is the instructions. This is where you really thoroughly and narrowly define the chatbot's roles and responsibilities. And here it's really important to follow best practices for architecting effective prompts. That's true for these instructions when you're priming the chatbot, and then for the individual chats that you conduct with it. And the best way to do that is to follow the who, why, what, how framework, which is built on best practices and ensures you provide all the information the chatbot needs in the format it will best understand. And if you haven't seen my tutorial on the who, why, what, how framework, definitely watch that next because it's important for every prompt that you write. But the gist is that you want to provide the who, why, what, and how with each prompt. For the who, you assign roles to the chatbot, yourself, and possibly a target audience. For the why, you define the ultimate objective. For the what, you specify the look and feel of the output, including the format, tone, and length. And then for the how, you provide a step-by-step sequence for the chatbot to follow. And not all of these apply to every prompt, but the more boxes you can check, the more helpful the results will be from the AI. And you structure your prompts using what's called the XML syntax, where you begin a section with a label and angle brackets and then end it the same way with a / before the label. Now, before we apply this framework to our instructions, I want to talk about two ways of preparing the style you want the chatbot to use. In this case, the style of The Verge. The first is that you ask ChatGPT to describe the style in a way that can be used in a prompt as the requested style. That'll give you the language to describe it most effectively in the instructions for your custom GPT. And then it's also important to provide examples. And with online publications like The Verge, you can find its RSS feed, visit it directly in your browser, and then save it as an XML file. Then you can upload that file in your custom GPT's knowledge and mention it in your instructions, which we'll do here shortly. So now we're equipped to write our instructions using the who, why, what, how framework. And like I said, this one will be tailored for a content creator focused on AI, but it'll be obvious how to adapt it for yourself. So for the who, we'll define everyone's roles beginning with the bots. You're a highly skilled copywriter who specializes in AI-focused content that mirrors the distinctive style of The Verge. You combine deep technical knowledge with accessible, actionable explanations to make complex concepts easy to understand and captivating for everyday professionals. For any knowledge that's unprovided and beyond your existing knowledge, you excel at finding accurate, up-to-date information online. And then your role. I'm a content creator focused on AI and other emerging technologies related to productivity. For each piece of content, I will provide you with a topic, outline, or reference materials, along with formatting specifications, which you will transform into a polished piece that effectively serves the audience and your objectives. And then we define the audience. The audience is ambitious professionals seeking to increase their productivity through emerging technologies, especially AI. They're proficient with common business apps and have experimented with AI chatbots, but they're not developers or technologists. They seek relevant and actionable content that respects their intelligence and limited time while making complex concepts accessible. And then next is the why, which is the objective. And you'll start to notice some repetition, but that's intentional to reinforce the most important points. So we say the higher goal is to empower everyday professionals to leverage AI to boost their productivity and performance. For each piece of content, your objectives are to employ The Verge's style toward comprehension, make complex ideas easy to understand. Engagement, capture attention and maintain reader interest. Action, empower the reader to take quick, easy steps with immediate benefits to efficiency and productivity. Then for the what, we'll specify the style, tone, and formatting. And this is where we use the language from ChatGPT from when we asked it to describe The Verge's style. And we also point the GPT to the examples uploaded to its knowledge. So your writing style and tone will directly mirror The Verge's style and tone. In your knowledge files, I've included examples from The Verge's RSS feed. Be sure to reference them. The style is intelligent and informative, yet accessible and relatable. Then I paste the language from ChatGPT with a separate section for formatting. And then lastly, we have the steps for the GPT to follow for each piece it writes. So we say, each time I provide a topic, outline, or material for a piece, please follow these steps. Understand the intent. Ensure you have a clear grasp of the piece's core purpose. Ask clarifying questions if needed. To complement the information provided, conduct research online. Ensure all information is categorically true and up to date. Define the utility and actionable takeaways for the reader. Outline the content logically, ensuring it serves your objectives. Compose the piece with the prescribed style, tone, and formatting, still ensuring it serves your objectives. Craft a compelling headline that maximizes engagement but avoids clickbait tactics. Review the piece for accuracy and to ensure it serves your objectives, and then respond with the drafted piece. So that completes our thorough and really exceedingly well optimized instructions for our copywriter GPT. Next, we want to give it that XML file containing The Verge's RSS feed for the bot to reference as examples. And in this knowledge section, you can provide any sort of content you might want your GPT to reference. Rather than style examples, you could include information for it to draw from that wouldn't be in its training data or available online. And then you'll choose which ChatGPT features your GPT can access. Web search is straightforward and almost always useful. Canvas is a special type of interface for the text or code that the GPT outputs that lets you iterate on in collaboration with the bot. And that'll be especially useful for our copywriter. And for some GPT roles, you'll have no need for image generation, but we'll keep it here for the visuals the copywriter will create to visualize certain content. And along with web search, Code Interpreter is pretty much a no-brainer to include. It allows the GPT to comprehend and analyze all sorts of files and data. And then Actions is an advanced feature that allows developers to connect GPTs to other apps. So we've covered the essential configurations, which leaves us with two options that are really more cosmetic than functional. The first is conversation starters, which are buttons containing phrases you can use to start a new chat. And I typically avoid them, but for demonstration's sake, we'll add one that says, let's create some content. And then finally, we can add a photo to appear alongside the GPT's name. And I saved this for last because now that we have the details in place, we can choose to have the photo AI generated. And that's it. We have an exceptionally well optimized copywriter GPT. When I click create to take it live, I have three sharing options. I can keep it only usable by me. I can keep it unpublished, but shareable with a link, or I can publish it to the GPT marketplace. And this one will be part of the collection you can access on Productivity Nexus, so I'll keep the default link option. So that puts our copywriter in the sidebar for quick access. But from the standard ChatGPT or any chat, I can now mention the copywriter to engage it. So let's give it a go. I'll simply say the topic is ChatGPT's tasks feature, what it is, why it's useful with examples, and how to configure it. And just as we want, we get a succinct, accessible, and actionable guide to the tasks feature in the smart but relatable style of The Verge. So you can see how easy it is to create a specialized version of ChatGPT that's tailored to your needs and preferences. And you can imagine how empowering it is to have a full team of these specialists assisting you throughout each day. That's why it's my #1 recommendation for leveraging AI. And now you know just how to do it. Be sure to follow the Who, Why, What, How framework, and you can grab the pre-configured collection on Productivity Nexus, along with their instructions ready to customize. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe for more insights at the intersection of AI, automation, and systemization.